Disruption Networks.
What's happening? How are you? Monday edition of the House Arrest podcast, DC Radio. Got a lot of accolades today. Actually, we're the House Arrest podcast, we're the Quarantine podcast, we're EC Radio, we're on Disruption Network, and today is Local Music Monday. How fitting! Awesome. Like all those? I kind of do. I think it's kind of fitting. Anyways, much love to the sponsors: EJA Moving Services, Utica Hemp, Utica Coffee, Saranac, and attorney Dave Longaretta. Joining me, like always, like we do every Local Music Monday, my co-host, who pretty much is, I would say it was your brainchild, Justin. Justin Smith from Showtime joining me. Good to see you, brother. How are you?
What's going on? How's everybody doing out there?
Out there rocking it in the virtual world you are, brother. Every time I turn on my Facebook, there you are and Little Sexy out there playing together. And it's good to see, man. I like seeing.
Good to see you too, brother.
You know, I want to get the petition signed. I want to get it up and rolling. I want him to drop the moniker Big Sexy. It's got to go.
I'm with you on that.
It's old. It's old. Get rid of it, you know? And there's another Big Sexy out now. Now it's starting to become a thing. So
yeah.
Let's come on. He's like slim. He slimmed down a little bit. We should change it up.
Yeah, he's like Slim Shitty, but he should be Slim Sexy. You know what I mean?
I love it. Justin, since you are the co-host of Local Music Mondays, introduce our guest for us, would you please?
What is up, everybody? From Whitesboro, New York, originally, and now Buffalo. So our special guest today is Mr. Tim Britt.
What's going on? How's going
on,
everybody?
man? Good to see you.
Good to be here. It's nice to be here visiting from Buffalo.
So you guys
how's going out there
together, right? You two, long history.
Oh yeah.
You can get into that a little bit, Tim. I'll let you go on that.
Okay. So yeah, my formidable years of learning music in the live bar scene are thanks to Justin and Extra Medium Sexy. Yeah, I mean my first gigs out in the bar setting, outside of playing like churches and like school functions, were at Valley Brook with Justin, originally opening for his band Showtime, playing only guitar, not singing, for 4 songs to a slammed room. And then eventually he took over Thursday nights at Valley Brook and invited me up to just play. Like, hey, it's a Thursday night. It's cool. I'll teach you the songs on the fly. So I literally showed up the first night that he played. And so did this guy named Big Sexy, who I'd never met or heard of. And I was like, okay, I thought I was the only one, but this is cool. And
dude, he hijacked our gig that night. Okay.
Yes, he did. He
nobody asked him to come.
He probably got paid too, right?
No, he didn't get paid either for the first 3 months. Okay, so let's just relax on that for a minute.
Right. I could use that money right now, actually.
Yeah, seriously, right?
And it was kind of like plug your guitar in, and here's the songs, and like right before he'd play, he'd be like, "Okay, here's Pinch Me by Bare Naked Ladies. It's F, G, C, and back to the F, and then on the chorus, it's these," and I'd be like, "Okay," and then we'd play, and we did like a full gig. And then he was like, show up next Thursday if you want. So then we both showed up next Thursday. And then from, I think it was October of my senior year in high school, every Thursday night until March, May, maybe even until I graduated, we'd play every Thursday night. And I would do my calculus homework in between sets on the bars at Valley Brook Motel. And then Kenny eventually started letting my friends come to see me play if they paid a cover charge because they were underage. And then we had this Thursday night thing where I'd have like 70 kids from Whitesboro High School and a bunch of Showtime fans sitting in the same bar where people were drinking beer and people were drinking Sprites. And, like that was the Thursday night. And that's how I learned how to play in bars and what not to play and not to sing or try to sing. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun. That's how I learned how to be what I'm doing today.
Sure. I got to say that if this was now, I don't know if it was now or even then, if he could have gotten in trouble for letting all those kids in. I mean, dude, Z, I'm telling you, man, there was kids sitting on the floor at the Valley Brook. That's how packed this place was with his friends. It was insane. we're all in our 20s, Sean and I, late 20s, and we're just like, this is kind of weird, right? But we just play, it's one of those things. But yeah, like Tim said, though, it's like a completely diverse crowd for sure,
Yeah, it's a statute of limitations, so you're not really blowing Kenny in right now because it happened. What year are we talking here?
2009 into 2010. I'm sorry, no, 2005 to 2006.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which is still in the 2000s, which makes Z and I feel really old. So, suck it, Tim.
That's right. Hey, Justin got me lottery cards on my 18th birthday, and I'm 32 now. So.
Yep, that's right.
Did any of them win? Do you remember any winners?
I might have won $10, I think, on one of them, which at that time was more than I was making playing on Thursday nights at the Valley Brook.
True.
Scratch-off tickets are the best birthday gifts. You stick them in an envelope and boom.
That's right.
You go. You win, congratulations. If you win big, split it with me. And if you don't, well, you should try.
Yeah, I mean, like what's the common thing there? Are you supposed to share it if you win? I mean, it's like with a 50-50 raffle. If it's for charity, you give it back. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I gave you those lottery tickets, so I should get, some of that. So
sure.
If you win the grand
Tim, you owe
prize,
me $3.
I think the Taylor case made up for it.
Yeah, it sure did, brother. Definitely. Man, what a story. That was a good one, too.
Yeah. We had a lot of good times. It was you learned a lot. I grew up fast, and the bar scene is so different than, playing 4 songs of worship in a church or playing in your high school for a bunch of kids that want Wonderwall and Sweet Home Alabama. Justin and Sean had a fun time with me, but they also treated me like I was one of them, and like gave me, little crap, sometimes if I screwed up, because I screwed up. We were playing a show,
right.
But, it was fun. And we'd have our nights where it didn't matter what we did. If there was a snowstorm, we played darts for 6 hours. I also learned how to play bar darts that time. But, they would tell me, hey, don't do that again. And I think they'd be laughing. They're like, no, don't do that again. Okay. But it was good. I needed that because too many, Justin, I'm sure Z, this too, is there's a lot of really nice musicians out there where we all try to be, but the ones that are very pat you on the back, like moms that tell their kids that they're really good, but they're not good.
Sure.
So like, it was important to hear like, yeah, you were soloing in the wrong key. I'm like, well, it sounded good. And you're like, no, it didn't. Like, learn the key, go home and learn the song better. And I'm like, got it. And that was important,
Yeah, it is. If you want to be better, you gotta keep practicing too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So what was Whitesboro High School like the Friday afternoon, that Friday morning, like after those Thursdays, they'd be hanging out at the Valley Brook all night? What was
it was cool. There were definitely some friends that had fake IDs, and they would come in with the high school friends, but like, at those bars, they'd be like, whatever, we know you're 18, but you've got the ID, so at least we can't get in trouble. So we'd have those kids. But Fridays were cool. I remember a lot of people coming up and being like, hey, next week, you guys should play this, or hey, can you guys learn that? It became like it was like a thing for a minute for my friends because, outside of the kid, like Utica's so small, it's so different when I tell people here in Buffalo that say like they all had fake IDs when they were 15 years old. Well, they're in a city. They could go to bars where they wouldn't run into people they know. Whereas like if I had a fake ID at 17, I'd probably run into my baseball coach. And like then it's a problem. Then I'm in trouble. Right. We're all in trouble. So that was a way for us to go to a bar without going to a bar and learning songs for friends. You should play this one. Can you dedicate this song? They write us notes in the tip cases. And then we started cleaning house and tips. I remember there'd be nights where like my friends' parents would come and tip all of us.
Right.
Because they'd want to make sure it was cool. And then they're drinking while their kids are sitting at the bar. It was like a weird thing for a while. It was fun. Friday was interesting. I probably got a little more popular because of it, and that was fine.
That's nothing. That's a Utica moment right there, definitely.
Oh yeah. And I gotta say too that playing with Tim too helped us out a lot with learning newer people that were coming out, because even like 2005, 2004, 5, 6, you had guys like Matt Nathanson and like that pop rock stuff that came out about then that kind of fit what we were doing. In a sense, like it wasn't like hard music, it wasn't rap, but it was like that folky,
Gavin DeGraw.
Yeah, like that stuff. And like Tim's friends, like he was saying, would come in and they'd be like, you guys should learn this song. And I'm like, never heard of this guy. But then I go home and I find them listening to it, you know, and they were like, yeah, we should all learn that. And then we learned it. So we were actually keeping current with the kids that were coming in. And the parents were like, oh, these guys are really good. You know, it was like, you know, just it worked out for everybody, you know, at that point. So.
And that's how you can chalk up to your popularity through Showtime right there, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those nights right there, and that keep growing, and that grew and grew. And look at you guys are a powerhouse locally today. So let's talk about, I want to jump right into the whole Poor Tim thing. How did that come about?
So when we, Justin, or you can reference this too, when we were playing at the bar, we originally didn't have a name. It'd just be like Justin, Big Sexy, Tim, whatever. And then it became Big Sexy and the High Life. And like we ran with it. And we would, I still have like computer printed out pictures of the three of our heads.
Time out. That egotistical bastard.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. He took the name of the trio, even though it was Justin's Thursday night at Valley Brook. But it was Big Sexy and the High Life. We wore like Miller High Life shirts for a while because we get them from the beer distributor.
I worked for a beer company then.
Oh yeah, that's right. You know what? My laptop's gonna die, so I'm gonna plug it into the wall real quick.
All right. So Z, how you doing, man?
You know, I'm doing awesome, bro. The creativity's flowing lately. I got to tell you, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening where people are coming at me with a lot of cool ideas.
Yeah.
But me, mentally and physically, I got to like all this stuff. I can't wait to get out there. And, you know, what about you, bro? How's things with you?
Going all right here. I just I got some projects in the works right now with a couple people, like maybe doing some stuff where we're recording some different things, you know, sending it to somebody who can, you know, mix it together and doing some video, you know, so you might see that coming out pretty soon. You know, if we can get it done quick enough, but I think he's drinking aloe.
Yeah, it's coconut water. Sorry about that. So
actually, Tim, all right. When I was thinking about this is actually your side of the story. So this is your side of the story of how the name Poor Tim came about. Because now that I think about it, these guys talked about it when they were on the podcast like 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Now here's your chance to tell your side of the story.
So we're playing. Everything's going really well. We're popular at this place, and it's kind of come up that maybe we could, or in my head, the three of us play in other places, like get gigs. Now, you know, when you're young and playing, money isn't so much of a big deal. I'm just playing. It's cool. I'll take tips, you know, and it's a weird transition. Justin, you can probably attest to this. So when you finally realize that, like, when you're good at something and you can get paid for it, you should get paid for it. But when you're a young musician, you're like, free gigs? I don't care. It's a gig, you know? Mm-hmm. And then, and Z, I'm sure you know this from running a bar too. Like, there are some guys that just take no money because they don't think they have the value, but they're good. And then, but you guys want to save money too. So this whole thing. So we're getting popular, and I'm like, hey, we should try to play other bars. And Justin and Big Sexy are like, yeah, well, we're gonna. Like, we're as in the two of them. And in the nicest way possible, kind of saying like, I remember Justin was like, didn't have the heart to like essentially tell me, like, we can do it as a duo, but not as a trio. And I'm thinking, oh, because I'm 18 and I'm underage. And Sean pulls me aside and goes, I'm just going to be honest with you. We're good and we do a lot of things, but like at the time I also never sang. I did not sing. I just played guitar. So I didn't add enough to the group in the nicest way to make it worth being a trio, to split money 3 ways instead of 2 ways, what they could accomplish without me. And that's the God's honest truth. Now, hearing that, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't want money. And Sean's like, well, that's not how that works either. We wouldn't just have you come to a bar, play, and then tell people we're not paying you. Like, so you should take all these songs. And I remember he had our list of songs, and he circled all the ones sitting at the bar at Valley Brook after one of the gigs and saying, you should learn all these and sing them. I'm like, I don't know how to sing. He's like, time to learn how to sing. And you should do it. And Justin was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I mean, that kind of sucks, but I guess can we we're still playing Thursdays, right? Yeah. And I got it and didn't get it at the time. Now I'm happy. It was the best thing they ever could have done for me. Because then I remember they set up with Kenny to give me a solo gig without ever singing a note, like my whole life. And I had a 4-hour gig for probably $100 and had all my friends there. And I barely got through the night because I could only learn so many songs. I had lyrics all over the floor. But that
Right.
made me start singing and learning how to sing and even thinking I could sing. And so they essentially kicked me out in a way to do other gigs outside of Valley Brook. So when they were trying to come up with names, we're all joking around about things. And was it Annie at the time, Justin?
Oh yeah.
Right, but didn't she was the one that was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you guys were
Well,
like, well, poor Tim can't play with you guys," and everyone just started going, "Oh, poor Tim," like mocking me and firing me at the same time. But like, whatever, these are the guys.
But we didn't do that in
with.
front of you, though. We didn't do
That's
that
right.
in front of you.
They were doing it on the side, and then they were like, "Wait, we should call ourselves Poor Tim, and he's not playing with us." And they thought it was awesome, and it's a funny name, and I was like, "Yeah, that's real funny." And then we're playing, and I'm like, it's actually not a really terrible name. It's actually a pretty good name. And then they were Poor Tim, and that was it. And that's how it sat. It was like one of those things where like probably maybe they even thought we're not going to actually use this name. It's kind of a thing. And then they use the name and they've been that way but it's cool because I go home and if I jump in and see them, they say, "Hey, Tim's here from Poor Tim," and they're like, "Poor Tim, who's?" And I'm like, "It's me. I'm Poor Tim," But it's funny how that all worked out. But it's so cool. Yeah, hey, it's so cool to have like a connection still to my area musically, even though I don't play there as much as I used to.
From that his point of view, it kind of makes us sound like a bunch of assholes.
I'm feeling a Karate Kid thing going on over here.
I know, right?
Do you feel like Justin's your sensei?
Yeah, I'll say this: I am as much a fan and admirer of Justin as I am a friend of his. I still, if I go home and play a gig, my first instinct is, and sometimes instead of seeing my friends from high school, is to see if Showtime is playing so I can go watch them. And it's not to show up so I could just show up. I want to watch him play. I want to watch the band play. And I want to see how he's singing. I want to see what equipment he's using. I text him regularly about guitar pedals and sound equipment. And because I still look up to him. He's a huge part of why I still play music, why I want to play music. And Big Sexy as well. I would say extra medium sexy, slim sexy. I would say Sean is the hard nosed side of it that kicked me in the ass, and Justin was this is why, and in a nice way. And I don't ever take it as malice or anything. I mean, it's one thing if they just stopped playing Thursdays or told me they were done and then kept playing without me. They basically said you should do this on your own. So I don't know. Maybe they saw me as being like a potential to have a voice and sing, and not just get rid of me to get rid of me. I don't think it was ever that, because ever since I've been coming home, it's not like they're like, "Oh, Tim's here."
I think in the back of my mind too that I mean, at least for me, it was kind of doing you a favor so that you could, since you were graduating high school, maybe you could go away to college and not be stuck here. You know what I'm saying? It's not that being stuck here is bad or what I do or what we do is bad. It's just that it's kind of like this is a bad analogy, but it's kind of like being in the mafia or something. All the mafioso guys, they never want their kids to do the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you got to do something better than that. You got to go to college. You got to, get your degree and do something where you can make a shit ton of money instead of, $100 a night playing at the local bar down the road, which, like I said, not bad. I love doing what I do. I'm so thankful and grateful for what I do. But at the same time, you were going to be fresh out of high school. And I mean, I knew that we were going to be doing this like all the time. It wasn't like we were going to go all summer and then, stop, so, and
right.
Like if we had continued on with you in the summer, and we would have had to stop with you anyway, because you were going away to school. So.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. It's not a jerk move or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best thing that could have happened to me from that sense.
Nice. So you're out in Buffalo, which has a really rich music scene, man. You go out to support live music in Buffalo before this whole crap happened?
Oh, absolutely. I make my living as a musician, so I'm playing as much as like Justin is solo and Showtime here in Buffalo. From Memorial Day to Labor Day, I can pretty much play every day of the week all through summer, because it's like, I tell you, the music scene's a lot like Utica, where there's so many good players, and like, that could be comparable to New York City and Nashville and stuff, but they're homegrown guys. So it's a bigger version of Utica. And there's just like take how many places in Utica now have live music versus 2005, where there would be these 10 places rotate, 10 places rotate. Now there's breweries, now there's wineries, there's meaderies, there's all these weird spots that now have music. Like I never used to play music on a Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Now I do that twice a month. So it's like that. But when I'm not playing, still my first instinct is to go see a friend play or catch somebody's original set. You know, I'm doing a lot of covers like Showtime does, and then I work for those gigs where we get to open for people and play like a full hour of original music, or get into a little festival locally. But it's a cool music scene here. It's really good.
You know, that's something I'd like to get into too. I mean, I just give a list of some people you've opened up for, because it's a pretty cool list, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been really fortunate. A lot of it's been with my full band, and it's just the Tim Britt band. As selfish as poor Tim is, it's just as Tim Britt for me. I've had the chance to open up for Tim Reynolds a bunch of times, which Z, I know you have a connection with from the electric company, and that's where my story is going to start with meeting you when we talk about that. Okay. I've opened up for Tim Reynolds a couple times. I got to play with Boyd Tinsley from the Dave Matthews Band before everything got a little weird with him and his whole situation. As a band, we've opened for the Gin Blossoms twice, the Arcs, which is part of half of the Black Keys. We won a contest to open up for them at Canalside here in Buffalo. We are, we'll see, our opening for Vince Neil later this summer. It's in June, so it's a little iffy right now. But we've had that. I've got to open for John Popper last year from Blues Traveler, which was super cool, and he was a super nice guy. And a couple like Elephant Revival is this awesome indie band, I think out of Colorado, and they've played Red Rocks and stuff. And I got to open for them at the 9th Ward here in like a basement show under Annie DeFranco's church. So I've been lucky to get some of these opportunities and trying to get more of them. There's some great venues here that have a lot of original music all the time, and we get rotated in, and if we fit, you know, it's a cool opportunity.
You play Ironworks. I got to give a shout out to my boy Josh Holtzman out there, Ironworks. He's a bud, so I've known him for a while. Josh is one of my favorite local like music promoters and just all around like good guys that does things for the city, always for the city. Exactly. And
Tim, is that where I played with Brindisi?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I like that place. That was cool. Yeah.
It's such a great venue. It's kind of a jam band venue, but now they've I mean, the nice thing, like, you know, the jam band scene has people at shows no matter who they are, because it's, you know, they like that stuff.
Right.
But now the venue's popular. So, like, this year they're doing Cobblestone Live. We were in it last year for the festival, and it's a 90s theme this year. They have Smash Mouth and Spin Doctors as their headliners. And then, you know, last year they had Billy Strings, who's this unreal bluegrass kid. And, Josh does such a good thing. He's a guy I reach out to a lot here for, like, we do post Sabres games there, kind of like what Justin did with Brindisi. Right. We'll do concert nights. So, like, if the Lumineer, like, if a band matches up with our style of stuff, I'm very much Dave Matthews oriented singer-songwriter style. So, like, if Lumineers are at the arena, maybe my band plays after the show at Ironworks for the post show because we line up with it. Ironworks is a great venue. I love that place.
Yeah, it is. Great venue. At Buffalo, it's funny that you say that Buffalo is just a bigger Utica. I've been saying that for 25 years, brother, and I love that you said that. So, and it's so true. The architecture, the food culture, the music scene, just the whole overall culture and character of that town is Utica. It is, and that's why I always feel comfortable going to Buffalo. And I've heard that a lot. So, man, look at all the great musicians coming up. Billy Sheehan's from Buffalo. Rick James is from Buffalo. Aqueous is from Buffalo. Mo started in Buffalo. The list goes on and on.
Part of Rusted Root.
Rusted Root, right? Exactly, like the one.
Goo Goo Dolls, right?
Goo Goo Dolls, yep.
Goo Goo Dolls, and shout out to my man Eric Crinden. You know Eric Crinden?
I know. I'm familiar with Eric. He's we all are in that same scene, so yep. I know Eric. Eric's an unreal musician.
And my boys in Rhubarb too, and the Allentown Burger Venue, and all that
ABV.
Stuff. So, yep, got a lot of love in Buffalo, man. Many years in that town for sure.
So you got a story to tell about how you met Z, right?
Yeah, I have two of them.
Oh,
So
I think we all have them.
yeah, these are good. This is good. This isn't bad. This isn't gonna blow the network up.
I get nervous about this.
So you had Tim Reynolds at the Electric Company with Ryan Montbleu, and this is probably I was 16 years old, 2004. I knew he was coming through, and I am a fan because I'm a fan of Dave Matthews, and I've been listening to Tim's solo stuff. And I had, but your venue was 21 and over, obviously, bar. So I'm 16. I send a email to Tim's manager, Fluffy, and he's like, hey, it's always up to the bar. We can't do anything. But if you do get in, I'd be happy to introduce you to Tim and get a picture and all this stuff. I'm like, okay. I think I sent an email maybe to you or your bar, and it says, sorry, we can't do anything about that. And I'm like devastated because I mean, Tim Reynolds is coming to Utica. Last time he'd been at Utica was probably the Stanley Theater. And so my mom's like, we're going to go and I'll get you in. My mom. And so we go to the Electric Company and we go to get in, and there's a girl, I think, working at the door. And she's like, I'm sorry, he's 16. And my mom's like, listen, I'm his mother. He's a huge fan of Tim. He's not here to drink. We're not doing that. He just wants to see Tim Reynolds, and there's no other opportunity for him right now, And so if I could speak to somebody, I'll sit with them the whole night, I'll whatever. We won't move. And she got you, and you came out, and you were like, and she's like, he'll be fine. You're not going to sit with him. You're just going to sit with him. He's fine. And you let me in. So I sat by that pole right in front of the stage the entire night. And I watched Ryan Montbleu open, and that was my first experience with him. And so because of you, I got to go see Tim and meet Ryan. Well, then Ryan and I kind of talked a little bit, and he was super nice. He was, starting to get the touring trail going. And I reached out to him because I saw you had him scheduled a couple months later at the bar. And I reached out to Ryan and asked if I could open, and then connected with you, and you let me open for Ryan Montbleu at the Electric Company. And I didn't sing. Because I was younger. So I brought 3 guitars and played acoustic stuff. And you let my friends in for a higher cover charge because it was a concert, and they had to have an adult with them. So my friend and their parents would come to watch me play that night, and then just so I could open for Montbleu. And then I opened for Montbleu a bunch of times after that, and I still chat with him every once in a while. I did a stupid thing once, and I made Ryan really mad. Once I got to open for him, and I teased one of his songs in my opening set because I thought it was a cool thing. He got super mad that I played one of his songs a little bit to the crowd, and I was like, "Oh my god, no! It was a cool thing. I was nice. I like your stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, don't do that ever again." I'm like, "Well," but yeah, Z, those are the first times. And then I played one night at the Electric Company for something else. Or I came there to see Showtime because Justin, once I started knowing you a little bit, or Justin would be like, Z, I got a buddy. He's going to come and he's fine. Oh, okay, cool. And I parked behind the Electric Company and helped Justin load his equipment. That's the other thing I learned a lot from them was rolling cables. I remember that. It put me to work.
Over under.
Yep. And my tires got slashed behind your bar. And I told you, and you were like, where? And I showed you where house I was in. You're like, yeah, I don't mess with that guy. So sorry. I'm not going over to that guy's house. Yeah. But it ended up being a good blessing in disguise. All my tires were bald, and I didn't know it. And I had to get them all changed anyways. But I had to get towed at 4 a.m. to Pep Boys after one of the times I went to the Electric Company. That's my anecdotes.
I got to apologize because, Tim, I don't remember any of that. I'm sorry.
I will tell you this.
Years in a complete blackout. So, yeah.
Well, I will tell you this. Z, that one gig that he came into was definitely a Rubin Time show.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And I'm supposed to remember that?
Well, come on. I mean, I think we played the Electric Company 3 times, and 2 of the times were with the Reuben James.
That absolutely was.
And think about how much alcohol was consumed that night, Justin. You got members of Reuben James falling off the stage that night, if you remember correctly.
Oh yeah, Jay fell off the stage that night. That's right. And he was trying to bend down to get his theremin. I mean, if that makes any sense to anybody, a theremin. I mean, like, he was trying to get this little mini theremin that he had. He bent down to get it and literally fell off the stage.
Yeah, right.
That was so much fun.
The theremin to a live concert. If you're not Fishbone, but
yeah, right.
That's a great story, Tim. Thank you, man, for refreshing my brain a little bit. I do vaguely remember some of this, actually. I remember you being a little persistent bastard, actually, now that I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to, until I heard no so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, it was important because Mont Bleu was like my first opening gig for like a touring guy. I mean, and I didn't even sing. I had no business playing that show. But Brian listened to some stuff. Like cool young kid from the area, and that helped. And then I started, and then like probably months after that, I probably met Justin, and that was the start of me because my mom knew Kenny from the Valley Brook because she went to high school with him, and he's like, I'm gonna put you to open up for Showtime. And I remember showing up, and you guys were like, what? And Kenny's like, you're gonna let this kid play, and there's not, or we're gonna have a problem with you playing here. We're like, fine. So I played 4 songs. 3 of them were like just chords to like Blues Brother. Like I used to play Hotel California, no words for the full 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then I played Stream by Tim Reynolds, and Justin was like, huh? And then it was like,
piqued my interest.
Anytime you want to open for us, you're cool. We'll figure it out. And that was it. And then then he's like, I'm coming on Thursdays. And that's how that all started.
Amazing. Isn't it great to reflect, especially when we're stuck in like universe house arrest right now? And
Sure.
I've been reflecting a lot, going through old pictures and whatnot, and playing all these games with ticket stubs, which I encourage everybody to do that. But it's great to sit back and reflect. And it's kind of a way for the universe to put everything in perspective for you and put life, back to pieces, if you will. And,
right.
It also puts back into perspective of don't forget where you come from type of thing too.
Good thing.
For sure. It's been what's the incoming time? It's been a lot of fun being I love being from where I'm from, and I love living where I live now. I consider this my home, but like Whitesboro and Utica is my hometown. Yeah. So it's always good to have that connection. And like I love now, like I'm out here playing, and so I don't have the chance to go see Justin and poor Tim or Showtime maybe more than twice every 2 years. But being at home now, I'm like, if we're not doing the same live stream page, I've been tuning in, and I'll hear them play a song that I remember playing. And like, we used to do these stupid antics too, because we'd always try to make each other laugh. Like I just learned too. And I'm starting to like go through the songs we played. I'm like, why don't I sing that song? Like we used to play it. Like I could sing it. Sit and Wait and Wishing was a popular one we used to do.
Sure.
We used to play Pinch Me by Bare Naked Ladies, and Sean would sing it, and I would try and mess with him in all the lyrics. So like take a drink out from the hose, and I would go up to him and put my face right next to his face and go and trying to get him to laugh, and like run through with your gym shorts on. And I'd be like, I look terrible in shorts. Do you look good in shorts? And he would hate it. And then made you say underwear. Me and Justin would go, oh man, you got you to say underwear. Like we just mess with each other. There would be times where they'd be like, Tim, take a solo. And Justin would reach behind and unplug my cable from the board. And then they'd stop playing, and there'd be nothing at all. And they'd just be staring at me. And I was like, what's going on? And then they would just start laughing in the middle of the song. Like that was that. So now when I get to see them play right now because of all this, man, it's like, I feel like I'm like, part of me is like, we should probably do a Valley Brook show. Like, we should probably do a Big Sexy in the High Life show.
I went there on a Tuesday back when he was playing there every Tuesday. I went there and played a gig with him there.
Yep.
On a Tuesday night.
I saw him too. I happened to be passing through town and showed up, and he's like, oh my God. I'm like, yes, go ahead. I'm going to sit right in front of you the whole night.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah. Shout out to Buffalo too, one more time. Cause I love that town and love all good people in that town and whatnot. I want to go over some people that have been chiming in. There has been a couple of people out there chiming in. Joe Rossi is saying a beer taster. I don't know what that is. There's Holtzman's out there right now, man.
Oh, yeah?
Good people here. Tim, good to see you. Z, what's up? Good to hear from you, Holtzman. And now the comment I really wanted to get to is Moyer. Moyer was people thought that your band name, Poor Tim, was named after him, which would make sense and be kind of funny.
It would also be funny. Yes.
No, but that's just Moyer being a little paranoid, thinking everything's about him.
Exactly.
But no, he's glad that we could finally clear up that scenario for everybody. And
If it was named after him, we'd have to do a ton of wardrobe changes throughout the night.
Right, exactly. So Tim, when can people catch you out there virtually when you're playing? Or do you have like a set time that you're playing on, like the social medias? Or
I was doing Sundays, like Sunday afternoons. I didn't do this yesterday. One of my friends, it was her birthday, so we went and sat on her yard while she sat on her porch and had some drinks with her for her birthday, because of how it is right now. But usually, like Sunday afternoons, I've been going live at like 3:30, and I've only been doing like once or twice a week. I might do another one here probably. I don't know about tonight, maybe tomorrow, because I didn't do a Sunday.
Right.
It'll be up on my pages. Tim Britt Live is my fan page, or music page, and then Tim Britt Band is the band page. Most of the stuff is just me solo. Occasionally been doing some theme things, like doing a full Dave Matthews cover set, so yeah, that's pretty much been it. People have been very generous with their tips and everything. It's helped out a lot. Like in my area, it's so funny to see, like, my Facebook is filled with Buffalo guys. I'm sure every place is different. So because I'm friends with Justin, I get all his posts about all the Utica guys that he likes. And so then I see, like, so many of my friends that are full-time musicians. The benefit of living in a city like Buffalo or Utica is because you can get paid good amounts from bars and afford to live in that city. Like, I can't do this in Austin because Austin doesn't pay anything to their musicians because there's so many of them, but you're waiting tables during the day, So many of my friends are full timers. So I got somebody to watch every hour of the day.
right.
There's so many good guys doing themes, 60s night, 90s night, Radiohead night, and everyone's doing their own things. And we're like secretly behind scenes, and messages where we're all competing, but not really. Like, some of us, like, what are we trying to do? Play Wonderwall better than the other person? But with the original stuff, there's natural competition in that. But right now, a lot of us are reaching out going, how do you get that sound so clear on your phone? Or, have you filed for the unemployment yet? Like, do you know what form you're doing? Like, we're kind of all trying to help each other out, because if our industry hurts as a whole, then we're all bad. So we're all helping each other out, and like, hey, this is how you pin a post to your live feed so people can see your tip thing the whole time.
Right.
Like little things like that, sharing each other. Maybe my audience is different than Zach Ward is a great player here. Or when Justin shares me, he's sharing it to Utica. And I have friends in Utica, but he's sharing it to his audience. So that really helps, because it starts popping you out in different places.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. That every day, if I'm going through my news feed, I see somebody's going live, I'm sharing it, just because I want other people to have an opportunity to see what this area has to offer. And same thing goes with Tim. Somebody from here might see Tim and like him, pop onto his page, and they see that he's sharing somebody else from Buffalo, and they pop onto their page, and it's just everybody loving on everybody.
Yeah.
Spreading the love.
It could lead to gigs when this is done. It could be, somebody could say, hey, Tim, your buddy Justin, I saw his stuff. Like, would he travel out here? And I'd be like, yeah, he would. I'll set it up for you. Or maybe there's Utica places that don't know that I'm, used to play, but I'm only 3 hours away. So I'll come home and visit my parents and get to play the gig there. So
yeah,
maybe something like that will happen from this.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then the other thing, before this whole lockdown that we got placed on, you guys are fighting over to get like 50 people to come to a bar, where now everybody's sitting at home, and you can have like 150 people watching you at a time now. Not Showtime, without Showtime being the exception, but like even like poor Tim or whatever, you're playing in front of like 40, 50 people sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now you plug in, you can get up to 220 people, and it's been cool. And that's the other thing too, Tim, you made mention of this. People have been very, very generous on their tipping and Venmo and stuff, and shout out to everybody out there for tipping.
Absolutely.
Us here at the D, they've been really, really generous, and thank you to everybody that helped us here at the D. And you can continue to help support us on our Venmo and our PayPal account, as well as Tim's and as well as Justin's and Sean's as well, Sean Smith, and everybody who's out there playing virtually. There is. It's a music festival every night, man, and that's the one cool thing about this whole thing is it got to see so much talent. And I got relatives in Florida watching some of my friends playing up here going, wow, Anthony, these guys are phenomenal. I'm like, yeah, we got some talent up here, you know?
Yeah, we sure do.
Upstate New York rocking. It is. It's definitely rocking, man. Yes,
Tim,
sir.
Tim Moyer asked if you're still doing college shows. He saw you at a conference a few years back.
I did. I did successfully one college show. Unfortunately, the group that I was represented by, their largest portion of business was like bounce houses and inflatables, like the big college stuff for like pep rallies and things. So I was on a roster of musicians and comedians, but their focus was, roll a truck up, $4,000 inflatable for the day. And that's cool. That's their side of business. It was nice. I got one college show, and then I did a showcase where I saw him at like Penn State, because I think I ran into maybe even Gary Johnston too, because I think he was with me at the time. And I did this showcase, and I had so much interest, and none of the dates like lined up, and I didn't get any gigs from it, which was so weird. But I think my company just maybe focused on other sides of the business. And for those of you watching out there that are college agents, I would love to do more college shows. If you're still doing it,
GP Entertainment, baby.
Yeah, GP. It would be awesome. I mean, I like traveling. That's the whole goal. I have the ability to travel, especially in this Northeast, kind of whenever I want.
Yeah, he said, Tim just wrote back. He said, tell Tim not to contact me.
No,
he said have Tim contact me. So there you go.
Yeah, right. Maybe he'll throw me a gig or two just for clearing up the poor Tim.
You could also pop onto his Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Katie Lang.
Is that part of the wardrobe changes?
I don't know. I think that it kind of that's more like a Jeff Moyer thing to Tim. He thinks he looks like Katie Lang, but I think he looks like Richard Marx or the lead singer of Train. That's one of the two usually. So
funny thing is Tim is from my neighborhood in Whitesboro. Like I could throw a baseball from my roof from my mom's house and hit his house.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So yeah, it'd be really. Hey Tim, I will. That'd be awesome. Any help is great, especially with things like this.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick on him too hard until he comes on this program.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and get him on next week. If you're listening, Tim, I'm coming after you.
Yeah, for sure. I want to definitely get him on. And I got a lot of love for Tim. He works hard in the industry and playing in his band and doing Billy Page Naked. And you got to get him and Jeff on. I'd like to get the two of them on. They're like Abbott Costello.
I mean, I thought about that, but I was just worried that, Z and I would have to pop off the call. You know what I mean? Because just let him go. Yeah.
I like that. We're just letting guests go, man. Go ahead, talk. Please talk.
For sure.
But if there is one thing I could take out of this Local Music Monday today, Tim, is what I learned today is Justin's a fucking bully, dude. Right? What? He's a hazer. He initiated you into the gang. At least he did give you some solid advice, though.
Part of his success is losing me because he knew I was better.
Absolutely.
It would have been called Show Tim instead of Show Time if I was around.
Hey, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. I could be part of the Tim Britt band.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah, Tim Smith band.
Tim Smith band. Yeah, right. Oh.
Man, yeah, medium sexy.
Right, right.
You get that petition signed by everybody.
I think
Anybody out there in Facebook land too, please do us a favor and click the share button to help spread the word of EC Radio, Local Music Mondays, Disruption Network, Tim Britt, Showtime, Poor Tim, everything that's going on. That's what we're trying to do. We're making a fruit salad of I don't know, content, if you will. This is a fruit salad.
Absolutely.
So love it, man. Tim, what's your message you could get to the world right now?
Stay inside. The quicker we all do this together, the quicker we all get to not do it together. Mm-hmm. That's simple as that. And for those that have the ability to help in any way, help in whatever way you can. And if that means staying inside is the only thing you can do to help other people, that's it. If you can sew and you're not laid off and you've got money, but buy fabric and sew masks, make headbands, if you are home and you're a musician and you're laid off and you have the ability to play, bring normalcy back into people's lives, because music is a large way to do that. I find so many times I get the same requests on my live feeds as I do in the bars, and it's occurring to me that brings them back to the bars. So if they have a connection to my one friend at a bar here always asks for Hey Jealousy by the Gin Blossoms, and then immediately gives me a shot of Jameson after. And now those people are still asking for Hey Jealousy. And there's a connection to it. And that connection makes you feel like you're back in that bar on a Thursday night doing the thing that we do once a month.
Right.
So whatever you can do out there to help people feel normal for the time being, do it. And do it with little regard, with as much love in your heart as you can. We're all in it. We're all doing this. And the disease is serious. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care what Justin is, age, white, whatever he is, how much he weighs, or what my color is, or who I am. It'll infect you the same way it has infected everybody else. So help each other by staying in.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Justin, this has been awesome, man. I'm loving these local Mondays.
Definitely, man. Especially, getting to hear the inside stories from people that, you don't normally get to hear from, especially for us. I mean, you're always on the radio doing your thing. I'm always out playing. So it's nice to talk to people and get a chance to hang.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. When this all comes back, we're going to have a monster little party, and maybe we'll get Tim Britt to open.
Yeah.
Dude, for old times, it'd be great, but you're not allowed to sing, though.
That's right. That's okay.
You play every song with no vocals.
That's all right.
California.
Just for old time's sake.
Yes, that's all right. I'll do a 7-minute version of Hotel, but never touch it.
I love it.
Right.
Tim, one more time before we bounce, man. Give out your social media platforms.
Yeah, please do.
How they can hear all your music.
You can check me out on my website at timbrittlive.com. There's also my band's page, which is timbrittband.com. It's the same site, just combine it one. I'm working on separating them. Then you can go to facebook.com/timbrittlive, Live, for solo stuff, and then Tim Britt Band for full band things. It's all the same on all the platforms, Twitter, Instagram, always those same monikers. And, I have original music on Spotify and iTunes. You can check those out. And anything like that is a big help. So click those links. Tell me what you think. Watch for my live feeds. And, if you want to tip me, it's great. If you don't, that's also great. So anything helps.
Absolutely. Justin, when are you going live this week?
I'm not sure quite yet. I probably should have figured that out before I came on, but it'll be some point this week. Probably Thursday or so.
Thursday? Because you're so used to playing Thursdays, right? That's your day.
I know, right? I'm trying to I'm not used to playing on Mondays or Tuesdays, so I can't, it's kind of weird. So, every once in a while, maybe do a Sunday fun day. I don't know. But, definitely this week at some point.
Keep us in the loop, and looking forward to next Local Music Monday next week, when hopefully we'll get Moyer on. If not, we'll keep people in the loop on who we got as a guest. But
yeah, Jeff already says he can't make it.
He can't make it. Before we get out, much love to EJA Moving Services, Utica Hemp, Utica Coffee, Saranac Brewery, and my friend, attorney Dave Longaretta. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, Dan Williams from the Barton Mudfest will be on tomorrow. Wednesday is Suk Cirillo from Schlejo, and Thursday I'm psyched. I got Tim Palmieri from the Breakfast and Kung Fu coming on. So it's like
awesome.
Guitar Hero week this week, bro.
Love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. And the good thing is, I can reach out to these guys. Everybody's just sitting at their houses now. So
sure.
Hey,
Tim, much love to you, brother.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was really great to be here. It's such a nice platform just to talk to you guys about things from back home and see how we're all doing with this.
Definitely, man.
Tim, keep in touch, brother. Great to see you.
I will. You too.
Share out there, people, and follow us, Disruption Network. Have a good day. Later.
Peace.
Bye, guys.